Everybody, I feel like Carter Oosterhouse here, working on this brick building in Norway, remodeling it. So he's always talking about his little thoughts on things. So I think I'll do it just like Carter. Okay, so people are asking me quite a bit whether or not I'm moving to Norway. So that's an interesting question, isn't it? It's a pretty common question, probably. I think people would ask, so I have to be prepared to answer it. I don't think about things in that way in terms of moving. I think. It's for me, the thought of moving was always very upsetting when I was a kid. We never moved. For some reason, I was very connected to my place where I lived. Growing up, it was very upsetting for me to even drive to Thanksgiving dinner down in Cincinnati. I was many times I'd be just terrified by like the traffic and stuff. This is when I was like, 7 or 8. Obviously, I lived in Washington D.C. I've lived in I'm over here all by myself in Norway. I've gone to like 400 art fairs. I definitely got over that. The basketball, when I was in basketball, having coaches wanting me to play at their colleges, going to checking out colleges, being moved up to the JV as a freshman, one of the only ones, and then moved up to the varsity as a freshman, the only one at Sutton's Bay. I got over a lot of the that kind of stuff. So the thought of moving is something that doesn't really occur to me, what it is I'm doing. For instance, Carter Oosterhouse is a really good example. He has a house in Florida. He has a house in, not Florida, but California. He's a house in Michigan. So Carter, he is really good at living in multiple places. So would anyone ask Carter if he's moving? I don't think they would ask Carter that because Carter's a movie TV star and his wife's a movie star. So, it just occurs to everyone that he's living in both places because he's so savvy that way with his probably with his paychecks. Or probably everyone imagines they're so big, so they never would ask him that. So that's part of why I don't like to use the word moving and it's another reason why I don't like to use the word or say I don't like how artists are interpreted as being starving artists, especially an artist like me. And it's why you'll see me making fun of that statement all the time. Carter Oosterhouse, he doesn't have to do much battling when it comes to his image because he's got the the home network, whatever his programming, is with his trading spaces and stuff. He's got them. Everyone knows who they are. I'm doing this all by myself. So I'm an individual. I'm an artist that has done this all on my own. I've had the Conservancy help me way back, but everything I did, besides my dad and my parents, how they established their business, I did this all on my own. This building here, all on my own, all hard work, sweat, going to art fair after art fair in the summertime. So when I think of the word moving and people asking that question, first off, you have to wonder, why is someone even asking you that question? Why? I mean, it doesn't even occur to me to ask someone, are you moving? I think some people like to ask the question because probably it creates drama. But I think other people probably it's just really common for them to ask whether or not someone's moving. So let's fast forward to Donald Trump. Okay, Donald Trump, he's got hotels all over the world, and he's got people building these hotels all over the world for him. Okay. Now let me just skip back 2 days when I was talking about the paper boy, who is the example when you're growing up. It's the paper boy who's got all these jobs that he does, and he saves all of his money, and then he's the guy that's 50 years old that's the millionaire. Okay? That's how the traditional way of thinking about it. Okay? So the hard work is how you do it. Okay, so then we have Donald Trump, we have Carter Oosterhouse, and then we have me. Okay, so the question is, am I moving, and is Donald Trump moving, or am I doing everything that's not Donald Trump is doing, but I'm doing it myself? And that's what's going on here. Donald Trump is hiring people to build his buildings. I can't afford to do that, so I'm here doing this myself. At the same time, I'm an artist, and I don't have people scoping out the community, trying to figure out, little subtle things they can do to the new hotel he's building to make it fit into the community. Whereas I'm coming somewhere where my grandpa came from that I truly care about, where I would be happy if I just made enough money to support myself, business, and maybe a little bit of savings on the side for anything that might potentially happen in the future. I mean, I'll be happy with that. I'm going to try my best to be much more than that because I really want my designs to get out there, and I want to be able to create more and more and more of my designs because I think that's what's really special. And to be able to have as many of those designs created is not only fulfilling for me, but it's really good for society and for everything else. For people down there in the future to have those creations. So living could be another word to describe what it is I'm doing. I'm living in Norway. Okay, one of the problems with labeling something as moving or living or whatever, it's really easy for someone on Facebook to pop you a message, say, "Oh, are you moving?" But look at. In order for me to really truly answer your question, I have to spend about 10 minutes of my time. So all you people out there that want to ask me these questions, really think about why are you asking me the question, and is it really important, or are there other things that you really should be thinking about when it comes to my business that might be more interesting and more important for everyone? Part of the problem with me, anyways, because I'm not working for a big TV show or I'm not a president, is that when you're in a small community. And when you're growing a business from the grassroots, all by yourself, like I've done, you have a network that you kind of are working with. There's a network here I'm working with in Norway. In fact, Norway has a much stronger, much more efficient network than the United States. 10 times more stronger and more efficient. It's more community based here. It's more like almost like you're like. You're the Indian in the next neighborhood, like, making the smoke signals to tell the next tribe that, something's happening. That's what it's like here in Norway. It's not far away from the people up in the mountains blowing the horns, letting everyone know down in the bottom that something's happening. That's kind of like how it's like here. There's no for sale signs. There's no for rent signs. I haven't found any pieces of paper, any magazines that talk about things for sale or for rent. It's all word of mouth. And once you start talking about this, everyone ends up knowing that needs to know. And then people come out of the woodwork and they come up to you and they're like, "I heard you're looking for this." And it's like, that's how it works here. So you think gossip and you think all this other stuff is like really bad in Sutton's Bay. I think here, you wouldn't even, you get gossip everywhere, but it's like here, it's like how life works by relaying information through people instead of having these ads you go to. So what I'm saying is when I talk about moving and when people ask me whether or not I'm moving, if I start telling everyone that I'm moving to Norway, then my network back at home is many people in that network will disassociate myself with being part of the network anymore, even though my business is there and I have people there working for me and my employees are there and everything else. So you don't want to say that you're moving. If Carter Oosterhouse said he was moving to California, wouldn't his wines not taste quite as good? Because no one would think that he's going to be around Sutton's Bay much. When have we seen Madonna? Madonna's dad is kind of out of the picture now, We never hear about Madonna showing up in Leelanau County anymore. So it's like, and you don't hear about his winery really anymore. But you hear about Bonobo Winery all the time because Carter is always here and he's in California and he's back and he's forth. But you think of him like that. But you don't think of the tile artist as the person who's going to be back and forth. That's just not, that's not programmed in our American minds, our consumer minds. So let's not think of me as moving here. Let's not think of me as anything other than Leif's active person, and he's in Norway now, where his grandpa was from, and he's starting a business here, and he wants to be successful. And that's what we need to think about. And then if you think about me that way, not only will you be better off because you'll have less clutter in your mind trying to figure out what moving is. Moving is a very negative word. It's like it has this connotation like everything's gone in one direction and then nothing's there left. I have property in the United States. I've told you guys this many times. So again, how can I be moving if I have businesses in the United States and I have property? So for you to ask me if I'm moving, it also kind of shows me that you're not loopy, can't quite put things together, that I have businesses in Sutton's Bay that I'm talking about daily on Facebook. Why are you asking me if I'm moving? And then other, I'm coming here to have a great time. I want to have a good time. I was sick of doing the art fairs. I would have kept doing them, but this opportunity showed up. But to do art fairs every single weekend all summer long, it's not good for you. I mean, it gets you in shape, but you can't do that forever. So I'm not meeting anyone. I wasn't meeting anybody. Wasn't starting any friendships or anything. So I'm hoping to start friendships here and meet people here and grow my business and do something that no one else in this. Not even Carter Oosterhouse is doing this. So this is something, and I think in time, once I'm successful here, you'll start to appreciate what I've done. Lots of you already do, and rightfully so. This is crazy, not crazy. This is like amazing what's happened to me to do this, and that alone, politically, in my mind, puts me so far above a Matawi tile, Pwabic pottery, down there in scummy Detroit. They're a Michigan historic site, but give me a break, clean up your neighborhood. Do something about your neighborhood, Pwabic. Come on now. I'm as in terms of artistry and like political sense of what I've done as an artist, I'm miles above everyone. And I think in as far as making a product that will be valuable someday beyond I'm doing what it takes to make that happen. If you want to invest in art, you invest in my art without question. No one is doing what it is I'm doing. If you can't recognize that, then you must have a broker, and you don't think about things that way, and that's fine. It's fine. But right now I'm speaking to the people that are wondering if I'm moving or not. So that's all I wanted to talk about. It's a big topic. I know I don't want to bring it up, but again, it's got a lot of components to it. Moving, for me to talk about that, it's a serious question. It affects lots of people. It affects my image, and as you know, image is very important. If you start going to work in a bikini, you're gonna get in trouble, and people are gonna start laughing at you, and you're gonna start, you're gonna be. It's gonna take you a long time to establish that new look. I can tell you that right now. Or if you change your hair to like purple, that's fine with me. I think it's cool, but everyone's gonna you're gonna have to be like bug-eyed for about 6 months while everyone figures it out, and you got to react to them. I mean, you see what I'm saying? So to talk about moving is a big topic. So I don't know. I covered a few different topics. I just keep thinking of me being Carter Oosterhouse, spending a whole half an hour talking about, Carter's kids, and I've only spent 14 minutes talking about moving. I mean, so, I've covered a lot in a very short time. It's a very big, huge topic. Seeing that I haven't done anything like this. So I think we could probably sit here and talk about this for a couple hours, but I got to get back to work. Have a good one.